dietitian. I'm your host, Amanda, and since November is American Diabetes Month, and last week we talked about what to eat for diabetes, this week we're going to talk about how much to eat. Now, in case you weren't able to tune in last week, I'll include the link below so that you can catch that video. And also, I just want to remind you right here at the beginning, please subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I have, the more videos I'm able to bring to you. So I truly appreciate your support. When it comes to how much to eat, one great thing to do is to divide up your plate. So what you're going to do is divide it in 3 sections. Now you can use a marker, and of course you don't want to serve food on the plate if you're using a marker that is not food safe. If you prefer, you can use some tape like this to divide it up. But the point is to have 3 sections on your plate, and half of the plate is going to be filled with non-starchy vegetables. Then 1/4 of your plate is going to be filled with lean protein, and the last 1/4 of the plate should be filled with whole grain starches. Now, if you create your plate like this means that 3/4 of the plate will be filled with foods that do not raise the blood sugar levels, and 1/4 of the plate will be filled with foods that do. So this is really a great trick and tip to help bring your sugar levels down quickly and get them under control. Remember, everybody's goals are different. So you want to have a discussion with your doctor and your dietitian about what your personal goals are. Maybe you're just newly diagnosed with diabetes. Maybe you've had diabetes for over 10 years. Your goals are going to look very differently. Maybe you're pregnant and you have gestational diabetes. So all of the target levels for your sugars will be different depending on the stage of life that you're in and what your goals are. Now also, the more you exercise, the more you'll have to fuel your body, so the more of those foods that raise the sugar that you'll need, because those foods that raise the sugar are the ones that power your muscles. So depending on your individual circumstances, that will determine how much you should be eating. But this is a great general guide, and you can always Google to learn more. This is the balanced plate method. And I'm going to show you one example of how this can work. Let's say you're a busy professional and all you have time for is to run and grab a burger at the fast food restaurant. The burger, of course, you have the bun and you have the meat. Now maybe you want to add cheese. So you have protein with the burger patty and the cheese. So that's going to go over here. Now it's not necessarily lean. If you are able to get reduced fat cheese, that's better for your heart. And of course, if you have the option to get a leaner meat for the hamburger patty, always go with that. The hamburger bun is going to count as a starch. Now, not necessarily as a whole grain starch unless they have a 100% whole grain hamburger bun. If they do have that, go with that because the fiber in that is more filling and it will be more satisfying. So what are we missing here? We need more of those vegetables. So this is where, of course, you can have the lettuce and tomato on your burger. And if you're able to order, for example, a side salad, or if they have the option of getting something like baby carrots or raw celery sticks, or maybe in the morning before you leave the house, if you're able to grab a can of low sodium or no salt added green beans, that's a great addition to your meal. And all of the fiber in the non-starchy vegetables is going to fill you up without raising your blood sugar. On the side, you can add a piece of fruit, like for example, an orange. But remember, the more that you eat of the fruits, the starches, and the milk, yogurt, and ice cream, like we talked about in my video last week, the more it's going to raise your sugar. Keep this in mind. If you have a slice of bread, this has about 15 grams of carbohydrate. We'll talk next week about reading nutrition labels and more about carbohydrates, but just know that carbohydrates raise the blood sugar. One slice of bread has 15 grams of carbs and turns into 4 packets of sugar in the body. So picture this. If you're eating a sandwich, 2 slices of bread is going to turn into 8 packets of sugar. So the more foods that you eat that contain carbohydrate, the more they're going to raise your blood sugar. So always keep that in mind. Anytime you eat a meal, you'll always be able to see the immediate impact on your blood glucose level if you check your sugar before and after the meal. Now, if you wear a continuous glucose monitor, that's even better because you'll get a reading every 5 minutes, and you can use that information to determine how your body responds to these foods that turn into sugar in the body. That's it for today. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Tune in next week as we talk about reading nutrition labels. Give me a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here in the kitchen with a dietitian.